Many local retailers are surprised to learn that the Americans with Disabilities Act may apply to more than just their physical brick and mortar store location, but also to how they represent themselves in their online presence. And we're going to break this down for you a little bit here today and share what we've learned about website accessibility and how that may or may not apply to you. Now, this is a fairly complex topic, both on the technical side of what constitutes an accessible website and on the legal side for how do we determine whether or not a business has any legal liability for their website presence. In this video, we're going to share what we've learned at New Media Retailer to give you an update on what we suggest you pursue and learn about to help ensure that your business is providing accessibility on the web. Let's break this down together. First, let's talk about the legal aspect of website accessibility. So right now, the decision is mainly being made in the courts, and that is in state or federal court around the country. And what's happening is when somebody with a disability attempts to use a website but is unable to, they may decide that they need to pursue litigation against the business that hosts the website. And in that instance, that goes to the court system to decide whether or not the website was accessible and usable by that person with disabilities. As a business, it is up to you to understand the federal, state, and local laws that apply to your business about the extent to which your website needs to have features or enhancements to make it accessible to those residents or potential customers with disabilities that would interfere with their ability to use your website. Now, at New Media Retailer, we're not attorneys. We can't advise you on what laws or regulations you need to follow. That's why we're making this video to highlight for you that you may need to follow certain regulations or laws pertaining to website accessibility. Now let's talk about the technical aspect. So making a website accessible to those with all the various disabilities that may exist is a technical challenge. Furthermore, keeping a website accessible after it's been built is a further challenge because websites are dynamic, they change. You may use an app, you may add new images that aren't accessible. There could be all types of things that change on a website that would make the accessibility that happened at one standpoint in time maybe have affected the accessibility element of the site and going into the future. So what does this all mean? Well, at New Media Retailer, we try to follow best practices for how to build a website is accessible to users. However, that may or may not be sufficient given your market, your regulations, and your customer base. We recommend that you do two things. First, talk to your attorney about whether or not your business needs to meet what threshold of accessibility guidelines to ensure that you reduce your legal liability. And secondly, having accessible websites is part of just doing the right thing because we want those users with disabilities to be able to use the site seamlessly, just like anyone else. That's why we also recommend two tools. These are companies, software companies that make a specific widget that can be placed on your site, which New Media Retailer will integrate into your site for free. Now, both of these companies make this tool that provides a whole bunch of accessibility tools for users. What that means is that if someone with disabilities comes to your site, whether they have seeing impairments, hearing impairments, issues with epilepsy, or color blindness, these tools present a range of different tools and options to help that user navigate your site more effectively. It's a tool that gets placed right on the bottom side of your website and upon clicked allows the user to access a ton of different tools that they can use to guide them through your site. We suggest looking into those tools, talking to those companies about the accessibility tools that they provide, and speaking with your attorney about the level of accessibility and what you need to do to ensure that your business reduces any legal liability related to website accessibility. In the description below, I've also posted a couple of helpful articles that link to more information about accessibility, what's happened as a result of accessibility for some small businesses, and the steps that you should take, and statement from New Media Retailer about how to best guide your business moving forward. Thanks so much for joining me, and we're wishing you all the best. At New Media Retailer, it's always our goal to keep you up to date on what's happening in the world of website development and small business so that you can take advantage of the cutting edge of technology and also protect your business from any potential risks or downside.